Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews for yet another episode, and in today's episode I do actually have a very special review for you, because if you don't remember, last week I actually started this thing on the channel where I'm going to talk about the Call of Duty Black Ops campaigns, where I talk about my thoughts on it and all that kind of stuff leading up to Black Ops 6 later this year. So if you want to know about my thoughts on Black Ops, the original and stuff like that, I will link it down below in this video description and stuff like that. So without further ado, I will get into my kind of context and background and history on this franchise game, Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, whatever you want to call it. So Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is this very, very special game to me, because I grew up playing this game. I remember times when I would play this game so much to the point where I didn't even think about trying out any new games at that time. I was 10 years old or something. I would just constantly play Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2. It was just something that I was always into, and the campaign I always just had so much fun with. I also loved the zombie mode in this game. There was so much to appreciate about this game that I just never hated playing this game, and it's just got so much nostalgia for me because, it's something that I grew up playing, and so that'll kind of reflect my thoughts in this review, that I might have a bit of a nostalgic feeling towards this game because I've played it and then I've replayed it recently, to where it's refreshed in my mind and I still enjoy it. So without further ado, I will get into the plot of this game now. This is the kind of game where it can be at times hard to explain everything because so much is going on. But from a general standpoint, this game is pretty much about, it kind of picks up after the first game, but it's also kind of got points where it's set during 2025 and there's all these kind of things happening. But this time you have a bit more emphasis on Frank Woods, who was in the original Black Ops. You've also got a bit more emphasis on Alex Mason's son, David Mason, and you've got all this stuff happening. You've also got Raul Menendez in this game. There's all these, Raul Menendez is the big terrorist. He's kind of this kind of the iteration of a terrorist sort of thing, and there's all these moving parts inside of the plot. And personally, I absolutely love this game. Even just the opening act of this game, where you're in this battle and you have to go and save Frank Woods later on. Then there's all these other cool missions and iconic moments where the story just hits different, man. Every decision you make has an impact on the story. Then there's other points where you actually get to play through different character perspectives, where there's points where you're playing as David Mason. You get to see his point of view, where he kind of feel how he feels about this situation and what he's going through and how he connects to Raul Menendez. And then you have how Frank Woods connects to Raul Menendez. You get flashbacks to Raul Menendez and Frank Woods and stuff, and how they think about a certain thing in this world, and then that has an effect on the game and everything. And so it really does go to show how detailed the plot was for this game. I really had an enjoyable time with it, that they really put so much thought into it. This is one of the few Call of Duty games to date that I can list that gives you an option to kill Raul Menendez or capture him. There's not many Call of Duty games where you get two options for alternate endings to see what happens. And if you've never played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, that is a spoiler warning, but you have been warned. It has been 12 years. Why have you not played Call of Duty Black Ops 2 already, man? It's such a really good game, and so there's definitely that where I really do enjoy this game. There's really, really iconic moments in here, from the opening act, from the other missions and things of that nature, and you would think 12 years later, doesn't it feel weird playing a game like this because it's so old? But really, man, it is a really good game. The only thing that I don't really like about this was this one mission where you do this strike force thing, where you're in this kind of thing and you're there's these kind of things you have to do. You have to defend this base and you're doing these things in this computer thing, and it just wasn't my thing entirely. Like, it was just something that was kind of boring. Like, you had this very compelling, gripping, dark storyline, and then you've got all that stuff happening in this. You get thrown into this thing where you do the strike force mission thing, and it does become optional, but for me it was just kind of boring. I was like, okay, I don't want to do this. I want to focus on that main storyline, if you know what I mean. So there was that, and I completely forgot about that, and there's definitely a few things I did forget about this, but especially the whole storyline, and there's quotable lines that Frank Woods delivers when he's talking about Raul Menendez in the start and all that, and how he describes it. So cool. So there's so many ways in which I can talk about this game, but if I were to rate this game, I would give this game like a solid 9 out of 10. Just because of the strike force mission. If it wasn't for that though, this is a masterpiece. This is one of the best Call of Duty games to date. This is one of the best games to date. This is a game that you should absolutely be playing non-stop, and definitely this is the golden age of Call of Duty. So without further ado, with all of that kind of stuff said, I did actually have to record this a few times, because with Call of Duty Black Ops 2 it has such a special place in my heart that at times it's hard to just word everything in a particular sense. So yeah, that's kind of my review. See you next time for another review on the James Rambling Reviews, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, one of the best, most iconic video games of all time. Bye.